Bon voyage à vous.
Bon voyage.
Jusqu'à la France, en Polynésie. Ils vont vous accueillir, les gentils Français.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Wow. Bon voyage.
I'll call you guys. I'll call you. See.
Yeah.
Ils partent en Polynésie.
Don't crash. Okay.
We'll see you soon.
I'll see you in I don't know, a couple months. There she goes into the big blue ocean, or at least Punta Mita. I miss you. Love you. Bye. Hasta luego. See ya.
Day one.
Day one.
Goodbye, Punta Mita.
It's day 2.
It's day 2 out here. We had a pretty good night last night. Pretty light wind all night, and it was a kind of a nice way to get back at sea again and just kind of bobbing around. But we made 120 miles in the first 24 hours. It was a nice calm setup, and today the wind's been building quite a bit. Not too much, but still comfortable. We got a reef in our head sail right now, and a reef in the main, just to kind of calm down a bit. It was fine before, but we were heeling pretty excessively, and no need to go crazy. We got 20 more days of this, so no need to push it too much. But so far, so good. We'll probably put another reef in the main before dark, and Jamie will probably make a delicious dinner, and we'll hang out and listen to audiobooks all night, and hopefully get some sleep when we do our little crew changes. So, anything else, babe?
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Well, got a broken steaming light just dangling there. They like to jump on our boat in the middle of the night, and they ink all over the place. Day 3. Last night was a little rough. Pretty rolly, lumpy, big seas on the beam. Lots of wind. We were double reefed, and it wasn't too bad, but we woke up or this morning we got out and saw a bunch of dead fish all over our boat, flying fish and little fish and squid. That's how you know you had some lively water. Now we're just kind of casually sailing along, got the hydrovane steering us here, and maybe about 10-15 knots of wind or so. Yeah, pretty chill day today. We could have pushed the boat a lot harder today, but we've been enjoying just taking it easy, going 5-6 knots all day. So just taking it easy, getting ready for another night. So, all right, bye-bye.
Day 4.
Day 4. Last night was kind of another lumpy night, and taking some waves in the cockpit, and pretty much all around uncomfortable night. Our red and green navigation lights stopped working, so that sucks. We'll have to just call people on the radio around us, let them know that we're here and our lights don't work. Hydrovane's still steering us pretty good. Cruising along 7 knots-ish. We just shook out a reef and pulled out the jib all the way, because we're making our turn towards 10 degrees north, 120 degrees west, which is our waypoint, so we can find our way to the intertropical convergence zone coming up in a little bit. But all is well so far. We've been kind of rough on the sleep, kind of back and forth, and it's been kind of tough. But today the seas have smoothed out in the last couple hours, and the wind's still here, but it's still kind of dying, but it's a little more comfortable now.
We're gonna have taco salad for dinner.
We're gonna have taco salad for dinner because we need some vegetables in our life right now. We've been eating nothing but snacks for a few days. Yep, still finding dead fish, flying fish, and squid all over our boat in the morning. And, really sucks the cloud cover out here. Our solar's having a hard time keeping up, so we might have to run the engine for an hour or so tonight. Anyways, that's what we're doing. Sitting around listening to audiobooks and music and podcasts and looking at the nothingness around us for hundreds and hundreds of miles in every direction. So, all right. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Day 5.
Day 5. Yeah, we're kind of becalmed out here. Today's been pretty rough, as in no wind and flat seas and flogging sails.
We did take showers.
We took some hot showers today for the first time in a few days, since it was nice and calm and easy to do, so that was really nice. The calm weather has kind of given us a nice break, at least, to have some really good meals and some rest and showers and everything. But it sucks because we're in there's a big eddy effect happening over here on the Socorro Islands, causing a big area to have no wind at all. The trade winds are right that way, and we just need to get a couple 100 miles over there to get into the trades and go down southwest. But the longer we're out here, the more those trades start to break down, and the later we'll be, so that sucks. Being so soon in the journey, we don't want to motor too long. We have 95 gallons of fuel on board. We just don't want to waste it. We just motored for a couple hours, and the seas were total glass, which is terrible. But we're sailing along right now at like 3 knots. Just barely moving. But it's better than wasting fuel. We still have 2,100 miles to go, so yeah, anyways, day 5.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And we're just sailing off into the sunset. We got Jamie down here cooking some dinner. Yeah, good thing that thing tilts, huh?
Yeah.
And this is like we make this into a bed when we're out at sea. It's just easier to sleep over here. Then instead of one of these bedrooms, it's much less comfortable. Yep, this is our nighttime routine. Jamie makes us a delicious dinner right before the sun goes all the way down, and we sit here in the cockpit and have dinner and listen to an audiobook. chill day, low wind, but it's all good. We took some nice showers and made some water with our water maker and charged up the batteries with the engine a little bit. Yeah, pretty good day, right?
Yeah, made some calls with Starlink, which is like,
Oh yeah. We have the Starlink out here is badass. We have full, awesome internet out here. We can do whatever we want. It's crazy. We're so used to being out here with nothing and just staring at the waves all day. Now we can Google stuff or download books and music and everything. That's cool. Nice. Signing off for tonight. Oh yeah, we also have a couple of frigates living on our bow here. I don't know if you can see them. They're just hitching a ride with us for a while, I guess. They're tired. Hey, buddy. We got a stowaway. Been here for like 12 hours. Day 6. Today was alright, I guess. And hasn't been nothing terrible or anything like that. Just kind of one of those days. Not super comfortable. It started off our red and green nav lights don't work. So this morning was pretty calm, so it was a nice time to get out on the bow, and I don't know if you can see our dinghies up on the bow. So not a super safe place to be when it's crappy, but went up there and tried to troubleshoot it, tried fixing a bunch of wiring and everything, and still didn't work. And the wires that go through the pulpit's tubing goes through the anchor locker, and it's like gel coated in and goes into the boat. That spot I can't get into. The dinghy's on top of the anchor locker, so that's gonna have to be saved for a really calm day till we can hoist the dinghy out of the way and everything. So that was a couple hours working on that to no avail, unfortunately. Sailing was going fine most of the day, or half the day, first half. But then now our waypoint is actually more that way, but the wind is still pretty light, so when we point that way our sails just flog around and beat themselves to absolute shit, just banging and crashing so much that just make you go insane. So right now we're pointed north of our waypoint, which sucks, but it's a little bit more comfortable and our sails keeping wind in them. And Jamie just cooked dinner. What'd you cook for dinner?
I made Alexa's funky pasta. It was so yummy, and I inhaled it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We also have a stowaway. I don't know. You can't flip the thing up. We have a little gecko here, Richard Gecko, hanging out with us. I don't know. He's just chilling, I guess. Yeah, we've just been battling light winds the last couple of days, which really sucks. You know, we're not too far from getting into the actual trades now. We're like 670 miles or so away from our starting point, so we've made some decent mileage. It's all good. But we just need to get in the trade so we can turn downwind and have following seas and, you know, a little more comfortable and keeping our sails filled, you know. So, you know, just one of those days. We're just, now it's, I don't know what it is, 7 o'clock at night now. Sun's going to be going down soon, and we're going to chill to a little audiobook and yeah, go through another night. So, all right, see you tomorrow. Day 7. We got a little wing on wing with the pole right now. Finally doing some downwind, which is nice. We got some more wind now. And it's kind of a comfortable ride right now. So that's sweet. Yeah. Well, it's kind of an uncomfortable night last night. Just really low wind, and we were sailing downwind, but still with swells, so the sails are collapsing and filling and collapsing and filling. Just banging the shit out of everything all night, over and over again. This morning, when the light came up, we looked up and saw the boom vang where it attaches to the mast there had came apart. And the first thing I thought was like, oh shit, it just broke. Oh man, you know, and then I went out and looked at it, and luckily just the pin wiggled itself out. So I was able to just put the pin back in and we were going good again, so that's cool. Other than that, everything's still going okay. Just making miles. Trying to do, our goal is, you know, 140 miles a day or so, 150 would be awesome. But yeah, this is day 7. This is the longest we've been at sea. The first longest was 6 days. And that 6 days was all done with no rudder. So that's kind of crazy. So it's nice to get past that, and we're on day 7 now, and
First week flew by.
first week kind of flew by. Still got quite a ways to go, but you know, if everything works out and the wind stays nice like this right here, would be great the whole way. So we'll see. All right, talk to you tomorrow.
Day 8.
Day 8. Today was okay. You can see we got the jib pulled out and the main out. Just straight up downwind sailing. I had to remain steering as usual, following seas, but pretty calm now. They were much bigger earlier, but they kind of come at 2 different directions, which makes us get waves from over there and waves from over here, so we're squirrely around all the time. Yeah, we got a mainsail car popped out of the track today, which sucked. Going up there to try to fix that is kind of a pain when you're all over the place, but we got her. Jamie and I went up there and got it done and put back together. Hopefully it should stay together for a while. What do we have for dinner?
I made chicken tacos.
They were good.
Super yummy.
And what did we just get done doing?
We were watching Seinfeld.
We were watching Seinfeld on our iPad.
On the iPad.
Literally watching Netflix via Starlink.
Yeah.
We're literally 1,000 miles away from shore and we're watching Netflix out here.
It did take us 8 days before we turned it on.
Yeah, we haven't, it's been a while. There's some pretty clouds over here.
We had some sprinkles for the first time today, a little bit of rain. Just a little bit.
Of sprinkling.
Oh no, pretty calm day.
Yeah.
Caught up on some sleep.
Not too bad. We're getting to the point where things are pretty boring. There's only 2 modes you have out here. One is like sheer boredom. The other is just adrenaline and excitement when you're trying to fix something or whatever's going on and trying to change your sail plan or whatever. It's just pure heart pumping adrenaline. And then the other mode is just boredom, absolute boredom. Yeah, but
A lot of podcasts and audiobooks.
podcasts and audiobooks. But yeah, day 8. You know, another 1,600 miles to go. So we're getting close to the halfway point, which is nice. Another 2 days and we'll be exactly halfway probably. So that'll be cool. And pretty soon we'll be, not too long after that, we'll be going through the ITCZ and then the equator. And once we're past the equator, then it's like, man, getting close. So we're excited.
Making progress.
Making progress. We made 136 miles yesterday. And yeah, we're hoping to keep it going that way. So, alrighty.
See you tomorrow.
Alright.
Day 9.
Day 9. Today was not too bad, really. Right?
Yeah, we didn't really do a whole lot. We tried to fish. We got nothing on the line.
Didn't catch anything today. We're currently about 1,040 miles away from where we left from, La Cruz, Mexico. So we've just now sailed 1,000 miles straight, and we're literally in the middle of the ocean. As in the middle as it gets almost. Yeah, 9 days now. Everything's still going fine. We got jib pulled out there. Still, we've been running that way for the last couple days, which has been nice downwind and some decent following seas behind us. Not too bad. The hydrovane keeping us on course.
Did some work on the mainsail this morning.
The sail car came out again. Looks like there's a open spot there, so we tied up 3 sail cars together around the one that comes out to have some more holding power.
So far, so good.
So far, so good, and we're about to get our waypoint tonight. We're gonna get to our waypoint at like 1 in the morning. At that point, we'll probably turn down south to our next waypoint, which will be at the equator, 120 degrees west, which will be directly south of us. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Spaghetti for dinner tonight.
Spaghetti for dinner. Yep.
And now we're just watching the show, waiting for the sunset.
Got a sunset coming up.
And night watch.
And another long night watch. Alright.
See you tomorrow.
We put Johnny on the Bible.
Good morning.
Gather around this table. Bring your shame, I'll lose my voice. Screaming at the gods about the bad we've done. We're all sitting on the trial, but the prison's still warm.
Day 10.
Day 10. Kind of a big milestone, I guess. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but because there's still many days to go. It's looking like another 11 days maybe, so
Feels good to be in double digits though.
yeah, double digits, kind of halfway at this point. Yeah, it's evening here, sun's about to set pretty soon. Last night was pretty brutal. You know, this has been a real crazy experience so far. This really tests your patience, stamina, courage, everything. There's some trying things that go on, and you know, you're pretty vulnerable out here. We're over 1,000 miles away from land pretty much in every direction. And for the most part, it's been pretty boring, which is really awesome actually. It's either that or sheer terror, not terror, but just heart pumping, you know, anxiety and adrenaline. Like last night, all of a sudden you start tracking squalls on the radar, and the wind changes direction drastically at 2 in the morning, and we got to run up here and take our whisker pole down and, you know, change our sail plan and everything, and that gets pretty crazy, especially when you haven't slept in a long time. And so that's what we dealt with last night, and just weird, crazy squalls all over the place. And but we've been sailing great all day today, right?
Yep. It's been awesome. We haven't really had to touch anything. The hydrovane's been killing it.
Yeah. Sailing on a broad reach all day today. The swell hasn't been too bad. We've been pointed in a decent kind of direction with the swell, not too uncomfortable. But now we're kind of making our next waypoint is at the equator, 120 degrees west, 0 degrees, the equator. That's still like 500 miles away, so that's a long way. But so far the sailing's been going good. Everything's been going fine. We got old hydrovane steering us back there as usual. Gosh, I love that thing. Yeah, other than that, we've just been doing our thing today. I got a little bit more rest today, which has been really awesome. I took a nap, which was great to do today because I didn't get any sleep last night. Well, Jamie let me sleep longer than I'm allowed earlier last night because, of course, all the bad things happen when I'm in my sleeping time. When when she's on her watch and it's my sleeping time, that's when all the shit goes down and I have to wake up and we both got to work through the whole thing. You know, none of this you can do alone. So, well, some people can, but we're not willing to today. So she let me sleep a little bit longer. Thank you. But now, now what's awesome is it is getting warm. I know I have this beanie on, but it's just because my hair is flying all over the place. But it's warm and muggy now. Like, we're finally in t-shirts or no shirt and shorts and everything during the day, which is awesome. The sun's been coming out a decent amount to charge our batteries, which has been awesome. The first week or so was really rough with that. A lot of cloud cover. Yeah, but so far so good. We still got a long way to go. But we're getting there. So.
Very much looking forward to the equator crossing. Something we've been thinking and dreaming about for so many years. We're almost there.
Yes. If we cross the equator, we become what's known as shellbacks.
No more polywogs.
We won't be polywogs anymore, we'll be shellbacks. And you get to do a cool ceremony and stuff when you're crossing the equator. You do a whole ceremony and you do like a prayer to King Neptune or whatever and the whole thing, and wear costumes and whatever you want to do. But that's what we're looking forward to this year. Yeah, really stoked about that. So just a couple more days, about 3 more days, 3.5 days, and we'll be there. I'm hoping there'll be wind because that's in the doldrums right now. So yeah, hopefully the wind fills in. But so far things are good. There's a bunch of boats around us. There's 4 or 5 behind us. Although we're kind of losing them now. They're like 100 miles behind us now, which kind of sucks. I liked it when they were closer.
We do talk
We talked to them. We got these birds. It's like they're so far from land. What are you doing? Damn, man. Like they, you know. I guess those are frigates, right? Some sort of frigate, or
They're small though.
I don't know what they are, but they obviously don't care about land, man. They live out here. It's nuts, man. But every day we've been finding more and more flying fish and squid. Oh, speaking of that, there's a squid right here. They smell so bad. Like, this little tiny thing is 4 inches long, but it smells up a whole area, like 10 cubic feet area. Smells so bad. But not a big problem. We just toss them off, and Jamie can use them for bait for fishing if she wants. It's hard. It's hard standing. You know, the camera never really picks up what the swells look and feel like. The camera kind of looks like it's flat out here. It isn't. You can barely stand. We're pretty steady. Anyways, that's our update. We're just kind of starting day, well, it's day 10. But, yeah, anyways, well, we'll talk to you tomorrow. That's a little rain squall.
Jamie dropping things up for you.
At least the boat's gonna get a little bit of a wash. And at least this rain doesn't seem to be coming with huge winds. So that's good. What are you doing, babe?
Hi, Audrey. I've got out of underwear. What are you working on?
Well, our old autopilot went bad on us. We usually don't need it because we use the hydrovane for sailing, but there's no wind, so we're just motoring now. And after 8,000 miles that we've put on this thing, it's finally went to shit, and luckily we had a brand new backup in here, so I'm swapping it out, hoping it works. Yeah.
It came from down there, through the top of here. Just gotta swap out some parts, wire it back up, get it back together, and fingers crossed. Day 13.
Day 13. We skipped yesterday, didn't really feel like making a video.
It was a busy day.
Yesterday was kind of a busy day. We had our first real squall yesterday with pretty high winds, up around 30 knots or so. And good thing we saw it coming, so we reefed down pretty well before it came, and we went kind of right through it. It was not really a problem. We put our second reef in the main. And then just had torrential downpour like crazy. And it washed the boat pretty well, right?
It was nice.
Yeah.
Windows needed it, for sure.
But being solidly in the ITCZ now, it's just squalls all over, 360 degrees in the horizon. Right now is actually really nice.
Yeah.
But last couple
lightning the last couple nights.
last couple days, you just look anywhere and you just see a giant black cloud with lightning over here and a huge cloud over here with lightning, and you're trying to weave through them. And it makes the winds all wonky. It'll go down to nothing and then 30 knots and then change directions and all over the place. So yesterday and the night before were pretty rough. We didn't really sleep much. And then
And that current.
yeah, we got the what do you call it? The equatorial counter currents going on right now that are kind of going against us. We're sailing close hauled right now on a good course, you know, but we're only going 5 knots, so we got a current against us right now. But yesterday, the wind died for a while, so we started motoring. And unfortunately, when you motor, you can't use the hydrovane to steer while you're motoring. So we got to use the electric autopilot. And we were using it yesterday, and it started popping and cracking and making noises. So luckily, we had a backup spare, brand new electric autopilot in a locker here. So I had to change that out yesterday, but that was difficult because Jamie had to hand steer, and I had to get underneath the pedestal and change the autopilot out while all the steering gear is moving. And the autopilot's connected with a chain to the steering hub, so she had to steer very strategically, stop for a second so I could get into things and get things lined up and put together and bolted together and wired up while everything's moving, which was crazy. But we got that done, and the brand new autopilot, we got it working right now, but
It's quiet.
it's very quiet and makes no noises. It's not we were worried that some other bigger problem was happening because it would like pop. You know, we thought something was up with the rudder or the steering or something like that, and it's like, oh shit. But we started investigating yesterday, took everything apart, took all this off and underneath it, and got to looking at it, and yeah, sure enough, that thing, once I took the chain off it and I started spinning it by hand, you could tell there's some serious resistance, like the gears are all stripped out in it. So we got that replaced, which is really nice. It's nice to know that we got a good solid autopilot now. But last night was really lame. You know, now that we're down here in the ITCZ, the winds and currents are so variable and changing, and you don't know what's going on from minute to minute. And last night it dropped down to no wind, so we started motoring. And we want to go south. We want to go dead south really to get through this fast, but we had swell coming right at us, and what wind there was coming right at us, so we couldn't sail that way. And there wasn't any really wind for most of the night, so we decided to motor, but motoring against this current, we were only doing 3 to 4 knots. So we wasted a ton of fuel doing that. The only other options was to sail kind of back the way we came from. Or back to the west, to the southwest, which is where all the convective activity is. We're trying to get away from all the squalls and thunderstorms are back to the southwest. So we didn't want to sail back towards that. We had just kind of gotten through a lot of that. And we didn't want to sail like west north or east northeast. Sorry, west northwest.
Yeah, going back.
I'm backwards right now. We didn't want to sail to the southeast. That's where the convective activity is. If we sailed the other tack, that's to the northwest, west northwest, which is kind of backtracking. So we motored and wasted a bunch of fuel last night, which really sucked. But this morning, wind came up. We got a decent amount of wind right now. We've been sailing all day, but we're going slow. 5 knots, which really sucks. So our mileage for the last 2 days have only been like 100 miles a day, which is pretty terrible. But we are pretty happy because we're over halfway now.
Yeah.
We've sailed now like 1,700 miles or so, and we got 1,300 miles to go. But for some reason it really feels like we're just on the home stretch. We got another day and a half till we hit the equator, which is cool.
Yeah, that'll be big.
So late tomorrow night or early next morning we'll be going through it, which will be really cool. Can't wait to do that, take that off the list.
Maybe we'll have cake for breakfast.
Yeah, and some champagne perhaps.
Yeah.
Neither of us have drank or done anything, not even drank coffee,
I
right?
haven't had coffee since we left the Tanita.
Yeah, no beer, no margaritas, no nothing happened out here.
Straight up detox out here.
Detoxing and eating good food that she cooks us every day and drinking lots and lots of water.
Yeah. Water, Gatorade, and Troy.
Yeah. But really, once we can push ourselves down south through this ITCZ here, we'll get solidly into the southern trade winds, which will be on a nice put us on a nice downwind course straight to the Marquesas. So we're doing a lot of daydreaming right now about what we're gonna do when we get there, and we know we're gonna be land sick for a little while. We're thinking we might get like a hotel for a couple of days and just lay down and just eat nothing but junk and drink margaritas and just relax and appreciate not moving all the time. I'm gonna get a pizza and drink a decent amount of beer probably. That'll be really cool. But we're really excited to get there. So far, things are really doing okay. The boat's doing fine. Knock on some wood here. Boat's doing fine. We're doing fine. Right now it's good. Today's been great. You can see it's just kind of light wispy clouds out here and sunshine, which is nice.
These are pretty calm.
I don't know if the camera's even picking it up really. There it is. Yeah.
It's also laundry day. You can't tell.
Oh yeah, we got underwear. Exactly. Drying. But yeah, good right now. It's good to feel positive in times like this. We know, once evening comes around, that's when all the dark clouds are going to show up, and that's unfortunately the same time each of us takes turns going to sleep, but that's when a lot of the work needs to happen.
Yep.
Which really, really, really sucks, but we just got to do it. This is what we signed up for. This is what we knew was going to happen, and we just got to take it day by day and get through it. But our spirits are pretty good. Yeah, so that's where we're at, and maybe we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, it's day 15.
Day 15!
Today's the day we cross the equator.
We're officially shellbacks.
We got 2 new shellbacks right here. We're no longer pollywogs. Man, it feels good. It's been a lot of years in the making.
It's a dream.
It's been a dream.
True.
And we did a whole thing with crazy costumes and did a whole ceremony, and we said a prayer to Neptune, and we offered him some libations, some champagne, and some coins and shackles and stuff. Cake. Jamie made him a confetti cake. Hopefully he likes confetti cake. Hopefully he's not lactose intolerant.
There's no dairy.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, so we baptized ourselves in the waters from the equator. We drug our feet off the transom in the water. And
Water's very warm here.
water is super warm. It's nice. Yeah, today's been going good now. We're sailing pretty good, 5-6 knots. Had a couple squalls last night, but they were no big deal. Jamie had to wake up in the middle of her first sleeping session to jump up and help me reef. And then we got poured on for an hour, which sucks because we sleep in the cockpit, but it wasn't too bad.
It's okay. It's the game.
Yep, we were able to sail all day yesterday, but really slow, like 3 knots. But yeah, it was awesome. Today so far pretty good. We got more wind today.
Yep.
So we're just sailing along, making our
Sun's
way.
out.
Sun's
Feels
out.
good.
It really sucks because during the day it's nice and clear and blue skies and like no clouds, which is awesome actually, but at nighttime that's when all the black clouds roll in and the squalls show up. When you can't see anything. It's pitch black and all of a sudden the wind goes from like 8 knots to 15 in 2 seconds. And then you go, oh shit, here it comes. And then we gotta jump up and she's gotta jump up out of sleep and we gotta go up and reef the sails and do all that stuff. And then meanwhile, you know, it's getting windier and windier and it's starting to pour rain like you wouldn't believe. And we gotta take all of our stuff out of the cockpit and move it in. And then we have to huddle up in here in the Dodger for like an hour.
Throw everything under there with us so
Yeah.
nothing gets wet.
Until it stops raining. But yeah, good so far. Today's a big milestone.
Yeah.
This is something we've been planning for a lot of years now. So it feels really good to finally accomplish it.
Yes,
Uh,
finally.
so yeah, we're now shellbacks and we can officially get our turtle tattoos, which is a big one. Yeah, so
Next stop, Nukuhiva.
that's it. Now really the next real big milestone is getting to Nukuhiva, which is still, you know, a little ways away, but I think the days are just gonna start flying by.
Yep. I mean, the first 2 weeks went
We're
so
yeah,
fast.
yeah, we're over 2 weeks at sea now, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, so we have a handful of days to go. Hopefully once we get out of the convergence zone here, it'll just be solid downwind all the way to Nukuhiva. So that's where we're at. Good day today.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Now you're ready to sail for the Horn. Way, roll and go.
9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, equator baby.
King Neptune, ruler of the seas, we honor you as we prepare to cross the sacred line into the southern hemisphere and ask you for blessing in our continued sailing. We are your humble servants and offer you libations in return for your protection. We ask you for fair winds, following seas, and thrilling adventures. I, Carson and
I, Jamie, Leisure,
do formally renounce our status as polywalk and pledge to reign over our good ship LeeAnn as true and faithful shellbacks from this day hence. Some champagne for you. One for me. More for you. King Neptune, we like to make an offering. Each one of us former polywalks would like to offer one stainless steel shackle. Then you have Mexican pesos. pesos. Or doubloons, if you like. The King Neptune. And we would like to offer you some delicious confetti cake that Jamie cooked this morning. Delicious confetti cake for you, Mr. Neptune. Enjoy! Now, it's time that we are baptized in the waters from the line. I baptize myself in the name of King Neptune. Woo!
More. Lever, Johnny, lever. But now we're through, so we'll go on shore. And it's time for us to leave her. Lever, Johnny, lever. Oh, lever, Johnny, lever. Soon we'll be opener out through the long way. Roll and go, where the pretty young girls are. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the pond. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh.
So I thought I'd make a little video showing you guys how the hydrovane works. It's pretty cool. It's quite interesting, really. It's old technology sailors have been using for a very long time. What it is basically it's a wind-powered autopilot. Now we have a electric autopilot here that is super awesome and reliable, but it is a machine that is working constantly 24/7, and they have a tendency to break down, and hand steering over long distances is really difficult after a time. It is, and Jamie and I know very well. Also, electric autopilots use power, and when you're out here for many days, sometimes you have cloudy days and your solar just can't keep up, yet your autopilot's working away constantly, non-stop, and using energy, and it's hard to put that energy back in when there's no sun or whatever. So we have this nifty unit here, the hydrovane, the wind-powered autopilot. And how it works is, you see this big red vane here, you can use this line here and you can turn it into the wind, directly into the wind, just like any weather vane. And what it'll do, you can see it right now, it pivots on that axis like this. So you get yourself on a course you like, whatever way you want to point, and then you turn that thing directly into the wind. Then what happens is, if the boat veers off course in any direction, it'll turn this thing broadside into the wind. And when it does that, you can see it tilts this way. When it does that, it'll turn these gears and linkages in here. You can see this tiller arm here is turning and moving. There's a little rudder down there, small little rudder. So when that vane deflects one way or another, it'll turn the linkages, which in turn will turn the rudder down. And it'll bring you back on course. You see this tiller arm, when that deflects, it turns that way, that turns the boat this way. And so it'll turn us this way until you're back on course. And then maybe you'll go too far, and then maybe it'll go this way and bring you back. One way or another, it keeps you right on line. It's always working to keep you right on line, which is pretty cool. And this particular wind vane is awesome because it has its own rudder, A lot of other wind vanes don't have their own rudders, and what they do is they they have, you know, lines and stuff that go to your main ship's rudder, which is down here, that will steer your main rudder. But we didn't like that, because what happens if you lose your rudder? Well, now you're shit out of luck. And that actually happened to us. And so this thing has its own rudder that can still keep doing its job, which is really nice. There are many different adjustments on here. Well, not many, a couple. See this knob right here? You can adjust to the left or right for light wind, normal wind, and then heavy wind, and then neutral for just steering by hand if you want. And then the vane itself, you can tilt it back to depower the vane a little bit if you have tons of wind. And then this line here, you pull this line or push it out to turn this vane around into the wind. So if you wanted to adjust your course, all I had to do is push or pull this line a little bit, and we'll adjust. And you just do that whenever you need to. It's really easy. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works, and doesn't use any power. It's silent, which is really nice. We have a brand new, really nice electric autopilot in here that I just installed, but it still makes noise, you know, like a zzz, zzz, zzz all the time, which is annoying. So this uses no power, makes no noise. It's relatively a simple little machine. There's really not much going on there to break. I mean, things can and do break on these, but really they're just so simple that, you know, I could see using this for thousands and thousands of miles without having a problem, and we have so far. And it still operates and looks as good as the day we bought it, which is super cool. We love using this thing. Saves us on power, and it's just a really awesome backup. I did make this little fillet table here, and you can see over there I made a mount for a tiller pilot. A tiller pilot's a little electric autopilot that you can hook up to this arm. If all your ship's stuff goes completely, you know, you lose your steering, you lose your rudder, whatever, you could hook up a real electric autopilot to this thing too, as an ultimate backup, or for when motoring. But yeah, so you can kind of see it just working a little bit. A little bit. It's keeping us on course quite well right now. Really, what you need to do is you need to have your sails balanced, trimmed out, and your boat balanced out well. That being said, we're really not all that balanced right now, but it's pretty forgiving. But yeah, that's how it works.
Day 17.
Day 17. As you can see, my super haggard salty dog pirate beard is coming along quite terribly. It looks pretty awful, but it's cool, man. No one else can see me except for all the flying fish on board. Yeah, day 17.
Yep.
Everything's been good today. We're kind of finally in some real wind now. I mean, it is light right now, but we know we're kind of out of the intertropical convergence zone for the most part, and we're out of the equatorial counter current, which is nice. And we're also kind of pointed downwind and with the swell behind us now, which is really awesome. It's kind of quartering us right now, which is kind of uncomfortable, but not too bad. Wind's light, but this morning all of a sudden, man, wind came up like crazy, and we made a mad dash to reef and
Shot up super fast.
yeah, usually we've only been reefing in squalls and stuff, but other than that, in the doldrums, there's not enough wind to really ever need to reef, except for squalls. But this morning we woke up and well, we take turns sleeping, but
I will.
She woke up and we were sailing along really well. It was really nice, and then all of a sudden it just shot up and
We heeled over super hard and we're like, oh.
dipped, buried a rail in the water, and oh shit! All right, here we go. We're in the wind now. Sounds pretty cool. But yeah, it's came down a little bit today. But as you can see, I don't know if I can get this in here. Yeah, it's hard to see. We're this white dot here. Here's the Marquesas. This is what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be, 10, 15, 20 the whole way there for the next foreseeable future. I wish you could flip the camera around while you record. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're making our way. We still have a little ways to go. We sailed over 2,000 miles at this point. Probably 2,100, 2,200 at this point, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we got a ways to go. I don't know, 800-900 miles still. But from here on out, it should be, downwind, downhill, following seas, hopefully, and faster. We'll start with the last handful of days in the doldrums. They've all been about 100-mile days. But this last day we did about 130 miles. So hopefully it'll be 130 and above from here on out. The wind's dying right now. It's like 6 p.m. right now. And it's dying, so you can hear the sails kind of flogging because of the swell out here. It's kind of bouncing us around. But we're doing all good. Everything's fine. Today was a real lazy day. We kind of laid around and watched comedy specials on Netflix. Thank you, Starlink. Starlink's been a double-edged sword, really. We're used to cruising and being at sea with, and having to figure out other ways, probably more productive ways to entertain ourselves. We were kind of looking forward to that, but also, with it, you do have a tendency to stare at your phone a little bit and watch Netflix and things like that but it's also a really awesome tool when we need to look things up or download weather really fast or anything like that, or communicate with people. We can make full-on phone calls and everything way out here, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but it's all good. Yeah, today's just been kind of a lazy day hanging out. That's our little rubber chicken hanging there from Pat and Alexa. Yeah, so far so good. Hoping we haven't had any squalls in the last few days, so that's really nice. Hoping we avoid those for a while now. That'd be really cool.
Super clear nights.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Lately, last couple nights have been super clear, and the stars and the moon are just unbelievable. And now that we're in the southern hemisphere, we can see the Southern Cross. I saw it last night, by the way. Yep. Pretty cool. I only know about it because that song from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, that Southern Cross song, which is a badass song, by the way.
We blasted it yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, the seas have livened up a little bit. The camera doesn't really show it. It's perfectly comfortable right now, but they've definitely woken up. And it's going to get livelier from here on out, I think, too. So, anyway, I think we're going to have some chicken tortilla soup tonight, right?
Yep.
And we'll probably watch a movie or something.
Yep.
And we're just kind of hanging out. Everything's good so far. Boat stuff is fine. We've ran out of a lot of the fresh fruit, fresh vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, I should have done.
We should have probably got more. But we do have canned vegetables.
Yeah, I mean we're on like the last bit of lettuce. We've got like 3 avocados left, and our cherry tomatoes are probably the last day or two. And, but yeah, we've got a lot of canned stuff, and I grow sprouts, and we've been eating sprouts.
Yep, those are awesome on breakfast sandwiches and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff,
yeah.
salads.
So, but yeah, I think
really nice.
We'll be fine.
We'll be good. We got, a handful more days to go. I've been trying to not look and calculate lately just because it's, I don't know, stuff to do. We still got quite a few days to go, so. But we're all good. Boat's good for the most part. It is a disaster in there. It's one of those things that we were having a hard time getting energy to try to keep things super neat and clean.
It's hard to be down there.
It's hard to be down there for too long, really. I mean, she's down there cooking a lot, and it is really tough to do, Not just because you get sick, really, or anything, but you're just getting knocked around. I mean, you cannot stand still ever.
Yeah.
And everything's sliding all over the place while she's cooking things. Also, we try to keep the hatches closed because waves have a way of dumping 900 gallons into your hatch. So it's hot as shit down there, and she's getting knocked around like a pinball machine and trying to cook, and it's hot, and it's just a mess. So anyways, we don't really hang out down there at all. We sleep up here.
Yeah.
We set up little beds on these benches, and we sleep in that while the other person's at watch.
We sleep quite comfortably out here.
We sleep great out here. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. You go to sleep staring at the stars and the moon and watching the moon's path across the sky, and waking up after your first 3 hours and seeing the moon and the constellations in different spots and just kind of tracking them. It's cool, man. But yeah, that's how it's going. That's day 17, and our good buddy Chris is getting close. I think he'll be a Monday morning pulling in. We left the same time, but he's on a badass catamaran, so he's just hauling ass everywhere.
He's super fast.
We'll be a handful of days behind him, but we just cannot wait to get there. And man, I am gonna pound probably 12 beers to the face immediately.
We've got a bottle of champagne that will be in the fridge the day before we get there.
Yeah, and some other things maybe. And we're gonna sleep maybe a solid 24 hours.
Yeah.
We just can't wait for that. I can't wait for maybe a pizza. And, we have the stuff. She could probably make a little pizza thing, but I mean a real pizza. I don't know what a French Polynesia pizza might be like. It'll probably be good. But we are officially shellbacks now, so that's super cool.
Yep.
And we did some calculations, and by the time we get there, both of us would have sailed on LeeAnn over 10,000 nautical miles, which is pretty awesome. From the time I bought the boat to when we get there, it'll be over 10,000 miles. And that's when you can get your 2 swallow tattoos. So Jamie might get 2 swallow tattoos. I already have 2, but I'll actually have earned them by the time I get there. So anyways, we're all good. We'll see you later. it's about 4 a.m. right now. Jamie's sleeping, I'm on watch. It's going all right, but it's been blowing 20 plus knots the last 2 days, so the seas have really stacked up quite a bit. Things are quite uncomfortable. Got kind of like 2 wave trains coming at us, one directly on the stern and one onto our port quarter, so we're getting, launched off the stern, and then a second or two later getting smacked on the quarter this way, so we're just corkscrewing around like crazy. But we're double reefed, and it's comfortable for what the conditions are. Just getting bashed around out here, but we're not out of control or overpowered or anything. Yeah, I got a couple reefs in, but we're still doing 7 knots, double reef main, and 2 reefs in the head sail. Yeah, just can't wait to get there. It's looking like 4 more days, so that'll be real nice. We're really daydreaming right now about getting there. We've been dodging tons of squalls. We're actually not dodging any of them. They're slamming into us over and over again, and we pretty much live out in the cockpit, and so all of our stuff and then all of a sudden a squall forms just like right in front of us or right on top of us, and we have to pack everything up real fast and reef the sails and then stand under the Dodger while it absolutely downpours. But we seem to be away from any serious convective activity as far as squalls with high winds, so that's nice. And we got mostly pop convection out here, which is, it's popcorn convection. It's just kind of like clouds, tall clouds, convection forming little systems of rain and stuff. So the rain doesn't really come with a ton of high winds, so that's nice. It's hard to walk around in here. But yeah, so that's not too bad. But the winds out here are strong, 20, 25 knots, that's not too bad, but over a course of a couple of days, the seas really stack up, and then, things get gnarlier. But it's also weird, it's gusty. It's usually not gusty out in the ocean, It's usually, if it's blowing 10, it's going to be blowing 10. But right now, it's like, it jumps between 14 and 22, 23, just in a drop of a hat. A couple of times, the gusts have overwhelmed the hydrovane and spun us up into the wind, making things real crazy. But we've handled it so far, and we're getting close. We're about 4 more days left, 500 something miles to go. So I don't know what we sailed over 3,000 at this point, I'm sure. No, not 3,000. Sorry, 2,000 something. So getting close. Just gotta make it another 4 more days. We cannot wait. We're gonna be land sick for sure, without a doubt, for the first day, because we are so used to this boat just bouncing around like you wouldn't believe, and we're just so used to it. Walking from A to B on here, you're used to just bouncing off of everything like a pinball, and so yeah, it's going to be real weird. We might have to take seasickness medication in order to be on land. Well, that's my update for tonight. Probably be switching out watches here pretty soon, and Jamie will go on watch, and I'll go to sleep for 3 hours. So that'll be really cool. It's kind of hard to sleep when the boat is just going nuts, but you know, that's what it is. So all right, see ya. Day 21. We were hoping we would have been there by now, but no, a couple of we were stuck in the doldrums for a little while, so that cost us some real time. We're sitting about 2 days and 8 hours left, so that's really nice, about 340 miles, which, you know, over the course of 3,000 miles, 300 miles isn't too bad. But that's kind of where we're at right now, and we haven't been updating the last couple of days. Just the seas have been pretty bad, and just been dealing with that stuff. And, yeah, right now the seas are pretty crappy still. Can't really.
It's hard to get on video.
Doesn't really translate, but the seas are indeed 2 to 3 meters. Most of the time about 2.5 meters, but then sometimes we get solid 3 meter rolling seas, a couple different directions, and it's not too bad. We just had to kind of change course a little bit more into them, because we've been surfing down them for the last couple of days, but started getting pushed off course, so now we're kind of got them right on the beam, unfortunately. It's a really crappy direction, and we're really just getting knocked around up here. We just got to do it for 2 more days, man. That's it. Yeah. How you been?
Good. It's just been a little boring. Real good. The night's been awesome. Just the moon, like we left and there was no moon, so it was just like pitch black all the time. And now we have almost a full moon, so it's really bright at night, which is really cool. Just makes such a difference. But yeah, just hanging in there for a couple more days.
Yeah, it's nice that having the full moon back is pretty sweet. Although it gets obscured by the intense rain squalls we get multiple times a night. We sleep out here. I've told you before, but we sleep out here just because it's just way easier if you have to, like, if you're sleeping, you automatically know something's wrong, like the wind picks up or things are getting crazy. So it's just easy to just jump up and help get reefed and everything, and just to be next to your partner out here. We just do it like that. But once the rain squalls come, you gotta get up, pack up your little bed, and fucking downpours for a while, then you clean up and go back to sleep, and then out again an hour later.
I got a wave like into the cockpit last night. It was so beautiful. Chain all my clothes.
You randomly take big giant waves into the cockpit, douses everything. Other than that, everything is going good. The boat's doing fine. Hydrovane's still working fine. Making a weird noise. I'm not sure what it is. But our batteries aren't staying charged very well. It's just it's so cloudy off and on all the time. And you're also moving all the time, and the boom is shading of the panels a little bit sometimes. We have almost 1,000 watts of solar, but it just still can't do it. So we run our little Honda generator, and that thing doesn't do a ton. but we took a giant wave right on top of it earlier today, which was awesome. So that thing's going to be all corroded and everything unless we do a good cleaning on it soon. But yeah, it feels good to know that we're almost there.
Our buddy Chris is there and checking the well. So we're just super stoked to get there. We can see on AIS that there's a couple of boats in there that we know from the past. So that's going to be kind of cool to like see people, across the ocean.
It's also going to be cool to finally shave off this haggard hair of a beard. I can't do it yet just because I need to have a salty beard while I'm sailing high seas. But man, it does not look nice. It's like fluffy. It's just looks crappy. But once we get there, it's all coming off finally. It'll be nice. Yeah. What's the first thing you're gonna do? That's actually probably it. First thing we'll probably do is jump in and swim around and just relax. Then I'm gonna drink a few beers.
Yeah. Pop that champagne.
Yeah, we'll pop the champagne, celebrate. Then we gotta put the boat back together. The inside of the boat is just an absolute disaster. Things are just everywhere.
It's just terrible to be down below for too long, so it's just there's just really no incentive for us to go down there and clean and right, because it just sucks to be down there. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. It'll be the
Put it back together, and then we'll go into town and check in. Maybe we might do that the next morning. I don't know. We'll kiss the ground for sure. We'll get Van sick. Then I think we might check into a nice little hotel for a few days. Just to sleep and take it easy. Yeah. And the camera just doesn't show anything, huh? Looks like a flat calm sea out there. Well, I can assure you it is not. Well, this is day 21 and 2 more days, so I cannot wait. Talk to you later. That is a rain squall coming right at us. Our last day. Our last day and it gets shitty.
one more.
The hydro rain just got overcame and we went way into it. We had to take over. We're double reefed in the main and triple reefed in the jib. We might completely roll in the jib here. Waiting to see. We just need need to get that squall over there. Just needs to pass over us. Once it passes over us, it'll probably be a little bit calmer out here, but we weren't really supposed to have squalls with much wind at this point. Should have just been, well, it's largely been popcorn convection, which is just big clouds that bring rain and stuff. Just super quick convective action creates these clouds and rain and everything. We haven't seen a squall with a ton of wind for a little while, but here's one on our last day. Jamie just woke up.
Good morning.
We're going 10 knots right now.
Surfing these giant waves.
Land ho! Land ho! You can't really see it. Oh, maybe you can, where those clouds are right there. That is the first land we've seen in 3 weeks. And oh my God. Ever seen. We did it. Wow. We have about 40 miles to go. 40 miles to go. If we can kind of keep our speed up, we might get there before sunset. We really don't want to be getting there in the dark, but man, Hookah is what we're going by right now. Oh my gosh, I just told Jamie we're pretty close to land, and she was like, how far away? And I was like, oh, 15 miles. And I was like, I don't think you can see it yet. And she's like, there it is. Oh my God. Babe, land. Land ho! All right, land ho.
Land ho. See it.
You can see land right there. That's Huku or something. Unfortunately, that's not the one we're landing on, but man, seeing land for the first time in 3 weeks is something else.
It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
It's pretty nice.
We've been at sea for 22 days and haven't seen land the entire time.
We haven't seen anything.
We haven't
Like
seen
no
anything.
boats?
Maybe just like 2 boats the whole way.
Like we just started seeing birds, again, like 2 days ago maybe.
Just a few birds and thousands of flying fish on the deck. And water. Nothing but water.
And each other.
So man, seeing land is just the greatest feeling right now. It's been a rough few days, conditions wise. This morning was pretty brutal actually too. Things were so stacked up this morning, and then we had a squall on top of that brought some more winds for just a few minutes, but things got wildly out of control for a minute. But we have just been getting knocked around like pinball for so many days now. Yeah, we are just so ready to go step on land and just walk around, or to have a full night's sleep, to eat a bunch of junk food. And we got champagne bottle on ice right now, and I got a 6er of Pacificos ready for me. We haven't partaked. We haven't drank alcohol in 22 days. Jamie doesn't really drink alcohol anyways, but
I haven't had coffee in 23 days, so tomorrow morning is going to be quite nice.
yeah.
Coffee and
Yes, she can have coffee finally once we get there. I can finally pound a handful of Pacificos, which will be so awesome. And just a whole night's sleep. We have only, this entire 22 days, only been able to sleep 3 hours at a time.
Yeah. And not even that.
And not even that sometimes, you know, squalls show up, things happen or whatever, something breaks. We got to reef sails, got to do some sort of sail change or rigging fix or something. And
it takes a while to get back to sleep.
it takes a while to get back to sleep, especially when it's in the middle of the night and you're just freaking rocking and rolling and things are crazy, and you can hear every change in the boat's direction and speed and wind direction and wave strength. You can feel all of it. So when you're trying to sleep, every little thing wakes you up. And so yeah, you get that 3 hours to sleep, but you don't really sleep that whole 3 hours. So we are so excited to go down below and just pass out. Like,
after some much earned alcohol this evening.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Yeah, man. And also, I don't know if I've said it yet, but Jamie and I have surpassed 10,000 nautical miles on this boat here. That's counting from the day I bought it in the Puget Sound. All the sailing we did up there and down the coast from Seattle to Mexico, cruising Mexico for 3-4 years, and now across the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, over 10,000 miles. That's a big milestone. So, well, this morning I was in kind of a grumpy mood, just from not getting sleep and for being in shit conditions. But once Jamie sighted land, that perked our spirits right up. I told Jamie, she came out from below.
I took a shower.
And she took a shower, and I said, you know, we're pretty close to that island. We should be able to see land pretty soon. And I'm just kind of looking at the tablet, and then she
turns around
and goes, "Hey,
God.
There's land right there."
It's
and I
right
was,
there.
"What?" And she goes, "There's land!" And we both screamed at the top of our lungs, "Land ho!" And yeah, it's right there.
It's a crazy feeling. It's hard to explain how just incredible that is to see that for the first time in 3 weeks, and just know that that was coming, and then finally be able to see that on the horizon is just
wow,
incredible.
It was powerful, super powerful. We're overcome with all kinds of weird emotions right now. We just accomplished something that is unbelievable and huge, something that we've worked towards for a lot of years now. And you know, we lost our rudder last year trying to do it, and we had to sail 6 days with no rudder back to Mexico, which was very difficult.
Incredibly traumatic and
Traumatic and
hard.
difficult. And this year we came back and said, we are not giving up. And so we're back and we've done it. And
we just knew it was our year.
This was our year. We knew it.
Gut feeling like this was it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it.
Yep.
And we did.
Knew we were going to do it. We knew it. Although we are talking a little soon, we're still 30 something miles away.
We're still a few hours away.
But anyways, we still need to process all this.
Yeah.
Our next video will be at anchor.
Yep.
Hooked
down.
Yeah, and we'll have more to say probably. So, until then,
See you soon. French Polynesia flag that we have had for over 3 years. We have arrived.
there's Nukuhiva. There she is, folks. Nukuhiva. And here's the bay we're about to pull in. This is so beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Day 22
We made it.
and a half.
Day 22 and a half. Woo! Pour those. This is our buddy Chris on Lightspeed.
Okay.
He did it all by himself
Hello,
on his
Pink
catamaran in, what, 18 days? 18 days,
less.
by himself, single-handed, all the way here.
We're
Kudos to
little
you.
loco.
A little crazy, but
We're all insane people.
we are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good.
To the shellbacks.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Two
Nice
new
work.
shellbacks.
Nice work.
Oh my god. There she is. A Nukuhiva. She made it.
Yes, we did.